Hi, brother. Here's our new song. We're going to be doing Dream a Little Dream of You. It's a ook contemporary, popularized, I do believe, in the 60s, but it was written in the 40s. If I had to guess, I would say Irving Berlin, but I don't know. I will research that and throw it in the comments. The chords for this are going to be our C major. We're going to have a B7, which looks like a B minor 7, which you love playing, which is like your D major with all of these down. And then you're going to put your finger down onto the thickest string, the C string, and play the D sharp. What happens when you play that, it gives it the 7th tone over the top. And as you know, the 7th tone is a lending tone, which means, guess what? When you use it, we are moving the chord structure. So it moves directly from that chord, which I believe it starts in C, goes to the B7, to A flat major, which means that is a direct change because A flat major is not in the key of C. As you know, A would be the minor 6th, and A flat major is a switch. So what it does is it borrows a chord from another chord and it moves there, and the ear goes with it. This is really groovy. So there's two ways to play this. I would do in the intro, I would play a C major, which is your standard C 3rd fret with the 3 strings open, your E, C, and your G. Your secondary chord, I would leave my pinky on that note rather than the 3rd fret so I can play the actual chord that looks like a G major, except I just scoot it over. So my first finger is actually on that the A note, right? So what we have is that chord structure. We have a build out of A, D sharp, F sharp, and C, which gives me a built diminished chord. So I've got my C to the B diminished, or an extension of the B diminished. It's going to be a, what is that, A sharp diminished. And then it's going to be going backwards down to a A flat major, which looks exactly like your G major when you use the F type of shape. So let's just build it up from those chords. First chord, C major. Second chord is going to be a flat, the whole second thing, so you get that B minor 7. And what we're going to do is make that minor a major by adding our D sharp there. Yeah? What we have after that C to a B7, we're going to be breaking that next down to a A flat major. Now, the A flat major is just like the G major, the A major, except you're using the F chord as your foundation. So as we said, the cage system works all over the fretboard. So let's build that chord all the way up. Let's take our F major. We've got our first finger on the F, our second finger on the A, and let's teeter-tot these. Let's take off the first finger and play our secondary fingering. And when we do, we can scoot that whole chord up a half step and bar it. That becomes an F sharp, and if we scoot that up one more, that becomes a G major. What happens, what's in between a G major and an A major? A flat or G sharp. So what we've achieved is being able to use that F to go to F sharp, G, then A flat major. When we play all 3 chords together, C major to B7 to A flat major, then to G major, we get the chords for the first verse. Here's what it sounds like. So that's the first phrasing of the first verse. The second phrasing does the first 2 same, C major, and then it plays the B7. Then we have an A major, which you know because it has a C sharp in the A, and instead of removing the A to make an A major to an A minor, we're removing the A to make an A major and A dominant 7. You got that right. So what we have is thusly, that's all the chords. We've got 6 chords in total. The next is going to go down to a F major. One of my favorite movements is taking the a major 4th and changing it to a minor 4th. The movement is amazing. Major, minor. Then we're going to go back to the C major, to the B7. I'm sorry, C major to the A flat major, G, back to C. That's a turnaround, right? This is what it will sound like. C major. Here's our moving chord, E7. And then we're going, basically what we just used there, let's see, how do I explain this? It's called an of chord. So in the key of C, which we're clearly in, it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. When we go to the A flat, we are quite literally switching to another chord. To save us a lot of time and explanation that you don't understand, I'll just put it to this. We change chords 2 different times and we use the and of. So when I went to the E7 there, I'm quite literally taking that E as the 5th of another chord. So what is my 5th of, what comes before my 5th? It's A. So it just so happens that when we made the transition to the A flat and then back to the G, that A flat was being borrowed to give the ear a different tone. And then when we use the F major, we also change chords. Now, F is the 4th of C, but when we use F to F minor, we're clearly dictating we're using the 4th, making it a major 4th into a minor 4th, or we changed our key platform, transposing it, and we're using our F major and then an F minor to flatten our primary, our root. That does not happen, which means we have to find out what key F is either the 4th or the 5th. Now, when I was talking about the 7th, you generally put a 7th on a 5th, which makes a 2 of 5 kind of feeling of the chord you're in. The 2 of 5 notion means if I was in the key of C and I take my second note, D minor, and I go to the 5th of D, which is A, if I played A7, that is my 2 of 5 chord in the key of C major. These are heavy musical concepts, but we will enforce them through examples in the next couple of weeks. So here we are. After we get through the C, B7, A flat to a G, secondary part of the verse, C, B7, A major, A7, we go to a F major, we break it down a half or a minor second as we learned today, from the third variable, the mediant, making that mediant a half step down, from an F major to an F minor, moving the A to a G sharp or an A flat rather. Then when we move to the C major, have the A flat and G to the C, it resolves. That C has a half beat, and then you play that E7, and have a half retard, which slows down the beat a little bit, into a A major, G flat minor, B minor, E major. So those chordings are going to be your A major, which you know, you've got your second finger on the A, first finger on the C sharp. The E and the A are going to be open, thusly giving you a 2 pressed down chord, 4-note strum. We're also going to be having the G flat minor. Now what we're looking at, you can get to this a couple ways. You can play the G major, then a G minor, and you can look at how you play that G minor if you used all 4 notes, which would be this. It means that you just double up that B flat on your high G by taking that G minor, putting the finger that's on the G down to that B, and then the pinky covers that G again, thusly giving you a shape you can move up, which allows you to chuck on the ook, basically meaning strum without rhythm come through, as we've been doing staccato notes where it cuts it off. If you take that G major and flatten that a half step or a minor second, you can go from G major to G flat. And since everything you are holding now goes down a half, you don't have to hold that A because it's in that chord. So now just playing what we would call a G7 shape or a B diminished shape, but rather than playing it with your first finger on the F, finger on the D, and bookend here with the B, you're actually starting that phrasing with your finger on the C sharp. Second finger is going to be on the A, and then your third finger is going to be on the F sharp. And then that top A note is going to be open. And when you play this, that gives you a G flat minor. Now granted, it looks exactly like your F sharp minor. Now what I wanted to say is the G flat minor and the F sharp minor are the same chord. So when you're reading this, it's actually correct to be reading it with this A, B, C, D, E, F, G. My G, A to G makes sense rather than A to F sharp. So that second part is A major to this chord we're talking about. And the fun part about this is with the A major, your finger's already on the C sharp. So all you got to do is lay down your third finger on the F sharp, making the A major to a G flat minor. Quick transition, yay? Because your fingies are in the right spot due to our spider exercises. It feels good. After the A to the G flat minor, we've got a B minor. Now granted, the B minor's been a little shaky for you, so what I'd like you to do is go directly from the G flat minor, bar the second chord, and throw your third finger down on that B on the high G string. So high G, closest to you, closest to your face, it's on the 4th fret, that's where your third finger is going to go. This sucker. You're going to put it right there and then bar the other three. That gives you your quick B minor. Practice going back between the G flat and the B minor a couple times. Something along those lines. If it's not so rhythmically awesome over there, try something like down, 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 down. All downstrokes, all upstrokes. After the B minor, we've got an E major. Granted, E majors suck, so if you want to put your whole finger down on the 4th fret and then put your pinky up top on the 7th to get that high E note. I can't hit it. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. When you do that, you get that high extreme. That's called, it's a note transposition actually. You're just finding your different intervals and then you're laying them out in a different way. So what we're actually doing is just finding different ways to write our note structures. And as you know, our chords are made out of triads. So when you get down to it, as long as you can fashion a 3-note chord, no matter where those notes are, it is a major chord. So let's say if we're playing this E major, we've got the E, G sharp, and B. If I didn't play the E here, and I played it here, great. And if I didn't play the G sharp here, but I played it here, great. So if I had these numbers, I could actually get this finger here, and then this finger here and play that here. That makes an E major as well. It's just not as pretty as playing it like this. It does, however, give you a lot of openness, which is great. The only thing, as I alluded to earlier, it has one legato note because it's open. Therefore, you can't chuck. You can't play rhythms on the right rhythms on the right hand and incorporate them. All right, enough of me talking. I'm gonna play through the whole thing and do the words. Enjoy. I hope to have strum this with you next week, just so we can have another tune underneath our belt. All right, make sure we're in tune. G, C, A, C, B7, A flat major, G major, C major, B major 7, A major 7, F major for double space and a F minor to boot, a C, A flat, and G resolution to C. After the first verse, give it a little flair and a quite a rhythmic retard. E7, 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 C. After the second time through, E7, 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 E7. You're gonna break that down to a major. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear. Still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn. Just saying this. Sweet dreams and sunbeams find you. Boo-doo-doo. Sweet dreams that leave the worries behind you. But in your dreams, what they might be, I dream a little dream of you. Dream a little dream dream a little dream of me. Of course, those are all downstrokes. You could super jazz it up and have like a like same thing with reggae, but you're just double timing. Pop, clap, pop, clap, pop, clap, pop. Stars dream, boom, stars dreaming in the sun, find you. Stars dreaming in the sun, and love you. But in it is whatever will be. Dream a little dream for me. You have to subdivide a couple of those, but I can show you how to do that next week. Everything we do fast, we can do slow, and everything that you think you could do in your head is possible with the instrument. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm also going to put a lesson. Oh, question, pop quiz. Here's our E7. How do you make a go up a half step and tell me what that chord is? Show it to me and tell me what that is. If it's an E, it can't go up to F sharp. That's a little hint. I'll see you next week. Aloha.